doing? For those who don't know me, I am Brother Orr Ebry, bringing out the message today. The title of the message is Masters of Our Faith, a practical application of Scripture for Eminence, Opulence, and Wisdom. Last week, Minister Karn said that we were going to get more into practically applying scriptures to our everyday life. When he said that, that kind of brought a joy and some relief to me, because when I first came into the truth about 4 years ago, one of the things that I noticed is that as Israelites, we do a lot of preaching on scriptures, and we got a lot of people who know scriptures, but no one knows how to actually apply them to their lives. And a lot of people really aren't actually applying the scriptures to their lives. This book yes, it is multi-layered. Yes, it has multi-facets to it. However, if you take the basic principles of this book and you just apply them to your life, you will reap the blessings that y'all promised us. So what I want to do today is just bring you all a few easy step-by-step directions on how to apply a few scriptures in this book to change around the trajectory of your life. Can I get a volunteer to write for me today? Anyone wants to write? Someone? Anyone? Can someone write? Appreciate you. All right, so we're going to do a quick recap of some of the things that we went over in the congregation. So my first question is, what is the meaning or definition of or purpose in Hebrew of a name? Someone? Character, you want to write that down for me? And this is something that you all going to want to take notes. If you want to get out your phone, your notepads, please write these things down, because what we're going over today is extremely important. This isn't something that you just want to let go in one ear and pass out the other. This is something that you want to write down, record, and start applying. So we have name is character. What else? Anybody else? Anything else? Purpose, yes. One more answer. Yes, ma'am.
To know who you are.
Yes, to know who you are.
Significant cultural identifier?
Identifier, yes. So for when someone says name, that's literally the characteristics that are invoked when someone calls you. So that's why names are extremely important. Names are important because names invoke the characteristic in which you want to be known by at that time. So for instance, my Hebrew name is Or. Or means enlightened or light. Every time someone speaks to me, I want them to invoke the characteristic of light in me or enlightening others around me. That's why I chose the name Or. So whatever name that you're known by, that's the characteristics that you want people to acknowledge you by. That's why names are extremely important. So as you move forward, be careful about the things that you allow people to call you, because that's the characteristic that you will invoke. The next thing is, what is the definition in Hebrew of the name Israelite? Someone, come on. What does Israelite mean? Ma'am?
One of the tribes of Israel.
No. Is the name Israelite, what does Israelite mean in Hebrew?
Prince of Power.
Prince of Power, that's one definition. What was that? Okay, that's an attribute. Put that down. So the Hebraic definition, the literal term of Israelite, literally means one who strives with man and Elohim and overcomes. So it's one who goes through adversity and overcomes that adversity.
Come on now. Come on.
How many people in here consider themselves Israelites? Let's raise our hands. Who considers himself an Israelite? So everyone in here acknowledges that there's someone who strives and overcomes, correct? Okay. So when you're striving and overcoming, that means you're doing what? Prospering, correct? Okay, perfect. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump to scripture. Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I'll call heaven and earth to witness against you today, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Therefore, choose life, that you and your offspring may live. The most important part of this is choose life. Yah is giving you the opportunity when he sets before you the blessings and the curses, the good and the evil. When he puts that before you, he's giving you the option to be, as the title said, the master of your faith.
Come on now.
We all have, what is it called? Free will. Mm-hmm. Now we're not exempt from the consequences of our actions, but we all have the ability to choose whatever we want to choose. So y'all gave you the instruction to choose life, master your fate. So you have the option to do wrong, right. You have any decision, any choice. You always have a choice, whether you want to do right, whether you want to do wrong. But in order to be the master of your fate, you have to choose life. So can someone tell me, what is the very first commandment in Scripture?
Only have one creator, and that's the most.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Very first commandment of Scripture, Genesis 1:28. And Elohim blessed them. So we know that he blessed them. And Elohim said to them, bear fruit, increase, and fill the earth. Rule over the earth. Go to the King James. And Elohim blessed them. Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, and have dominion upon the earth. Do y'all see that? Everyone sees what is the very first commandment? Someone repeat it, please. Matter of fact, please, let's read it all together as one. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said to them, bear fruit and increase and fill the earth and subdue it and rule over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over all creatures moving on the earth. It is a commandment for you to be a ruler. It is a commandment for you to have dominion. So things that were not a part of the first commandment: be lowly, have a defeated mindset, be passive, be poor, be stuck in apathy, be under the rule of someone else, have nothing. None of that was included in Genesis 1:28. What was included in Genesis 1:28?
Have dominion.
Be fruitful, have dominion, and multiply over the entire earth. So as Israelites, a lot of us get stuck in this mindset where we have to be lowly. We identify with the curses. That's a detriment to us.
Come on.
Yah also identifies us with blessings. So we can't be blessed if we're continuously identifying ourselves with these things.
Right.
If we want to truly be blessed to have Yah's blessing on us, we have to go back to what the very first commandment he gave us: be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, have the dominion upon the earth. So right now, I need everyone to understand this. Some people, they don't get it. Some people, it hasn't clicked to them. You have Yah's permission to be prosperous. You have Yah's permission to be prosperous. And we're not just talking about a monetary prosperous. We're talking about prospering in what Yah created you to do. What was that? A couple of weeks ago, I did a presentation on, what was it? Knowing your purpose. You have the permission of Yah to prosper in your purpose. You don't have to be under someone else's subject. You don't have to live a life that someone else wants you to live. You have the option, not the option, you have the commandment to prosper in everything that you do. Very simple. We have a lot of young people in here, and I need y'all to know and understand. You have the commandment from Yah to be the greatest version of yourself. No one should you should never listen to anyone who's going to tell you to be less than what you were created to be. Be the highest version of yourself. Break the chain of bondage and fulfill your purpose. Simple. Very simple. So, 4 steps. Real simple, y'all. I'm giving y'all 4 steps to obtaining righteous desire, wisdom, abundance, and your dreams. Very simple. I'm going to keep it real simple. Make sure you write these things down because you're going to need them later. Step 1, very simple. Ask for it. Ask for it. James 4:2 and B. It says you strive and you fight and you do not possess because you do not ask. Oftentimes we're trying to do everything ourselves. Oftentimes we're running here, running there, doing this, doing that, and not once do we ever just simply turn to Yah and say, Yah, may I please have this? It's a simple concept. Very simple concept. Ask. All you got to do is just ask. If you ask Yah, he will give. Do y'all realize that we're in a contract with Yah, correct?
Yes.
So for whatever reason, we're in this society where we think contracts are one-sided. Contracts are two-sided.
That's right.
Yah said, if you do this, then I'll do this. So Yah is contractually obligated to give you what you want if you're being righteous. You're not doing too much. You're not bothering him. You're not stressing him out. You're not being a burdensome. You're not doing any of those things by asking Yah for what you want.
Make it plain.
Very simple. Now, when you ask for something, it creates sound, correct?
Yes.
This is how important sound is. I'm going to go through a little science experiment that was done in the 18th century. A German scientist and musician, Ernest Schiavini, demonstrating in simple visual experiments, that sound effects matter. When he drew a violin bow around the edge of a plate covered with sand, the sand formed various geometric patterns. These are the patterns that the sounds that he created. Now, why this is very important is because when you're asking for something, you're speaking out loud, correct?
Yes.
So when you're speaking out loud, that means everything that you speak
Creates a pattern.
does what? Say it out loud.
Creates a pattern.
Creates a pattern. It affects the world and the universe around you. That's how important your words are. Another experiment that was done, Dr. Hans Jenny, a Swiss medical doctor and a scientist, Hans Jenny realized the importance of vibrations. Vibrations is a part of sound. When you speak, you vibrate, correct?
Yes.
And sound set out to study from a unique angle. His fascinating experiment into the study of wave phenomena, which he called sematics, from the Greek kaima, meaning wave, provide nothing less than a picture of how sound influences matter. So basically, what you speak influences the world around you. In the 1960s, Dr. Jenny placed sand, fluid, and powders on metal plates, which he vibrated with a special frequency generator and a speaker. His experiments produced beautiful and intricate patterns that were used that were unique to each individual vibration. Moreover, these varying patterns remained intact as long as the sound pulsed through the substance. So as long as you're speaking what you're speaking, if you're speaking life, and you continuously speak life, what's going to happen around you? Life is going to be created. If you're consistently speaking upliftment, if you're consistently speaking wisdom, if you're consistently speaking anything of positivity, what's going to stay around you? Positivity. The moment you stop speaking those things, what's going to happen? It's going to cease. If the sound stops, the pattern collapses. So the moment you stop asking Yah for what it is that you want, what you want is going to collapse. For many, these experiments show that sound can indeed alter form, that different frequencies produce different results, and that sound actually creates and maintains form. One thing that I learned this morning, I was talking to a very wise brother. Y'all know how we do the Shema every morning, correct? Every Shabbat, right? The Shema was created at 528 megahertz. 528 megahertz is the healing frequency for the body. So literally when you're singing the Shema, you are healing your body. That's how important knowing what it is that you're speaking is, because the words that you speak will either cause life or cause death. What did y'all tell us what we read earlier? Choose life. So everything that you're doing, you should be choosing life. Every word that you speak should be a choice of life word, because that's what you're putting around you every single day.
Come on now.
Now, Scripture already told us how powerful words are. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those loving it will eat its fruits. So if you understand how powerful your words are, and you understand whatever word that you put out will cause death or life, you will bear the fruits of that. So if you're consistently speaking affirmations of life, you're going to bear the fruit of life. If you're consistently speaking affirmations of prosperity, consistently speaking affirmations of uplifting, consistently speaking affirmations of bringing everyone up, then that's the fruit that you're going to bear. Ask for things or speaking your requests out loud impact you, your body, the world around you, and causes Yah to move. Isaiah 7:10-11. And Yah spoke again to Ahaz, saying, ask a sign for yourself from Yah your Elohim, make deep the request or make it high. So that Yah say, oh, just ask for something small, ask for something little. No, Yah wants you to ask for great things. When you come to him, he wants it to be phenomenal, because the more phenomenal your request is, the more phenomenal his power is in your life. The greater the thing is that you ask for Yah, the greater his showing is. And as we know, us being Israelites, everybody, most of us raised our hand in here and said we're Israelites, correct? As Israelites, we are the embodiment and the physical representation of Yah here on earth, correct?
Yes.
So whenever something powerful happens in our life, what does that show? How great and powerful Yah is.
Yes.
So that's why it's important that when you go and you ask Yah for something, you make it high, because that just shows how much greater the power is that he has on this world amongst for everybody, because we're that representation. Step 2, write it down. Step 2, write it down. So when you go and you ask Yah, whatever you ask him for, after you ask him for it, write it down. Habakkuk 2 and 3. And Yah answered me and he said, write the vision and inscribe it on tablets, so that he who reads it runs. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and it speaks of the end, and does not lie. If it lingers, wait for it. For it shall certainly come. It shall not delay. So what do y'all tell you? Whatever you write down is going to come to be. Very simple. Whatever you write down, it is a spiritual component that whatever you write down, it will come to be. Simple as that. I can't explain it. I'm not Yah. I don't have his mind. But what I do know is when you do write things down, they come to be. Now, when I said we don't have practical applications of these scriptures, if you change your mind on how you view things, it changes how you interact with the world. So people can go in there and read the same scripture. Oh, that's a prophecy talking about da-da-da. Yeah, cool, you're right, it is. But if I change my mind and change how I look at it, and I literally go and I just say, let me just practically do what the scripture said to do, it still works. So if I just simply write down whatever vision Yah gives me, whatever my desires are, it still works. It comes to be.
Well,
write down the thoughts of the moment. Those that come unsought for are commonly the most valuable. Quote by Francis Bacon. Those of you all who are super Israelites, don't kill me because the word bacon is up there. All right. Neuropsychologists have identified the generation effect, which basically says individuals demonstrate better memory for material they've generated themselves, i.e. written down, than for material they've merely read. So when you write down your vision versus when you read someone else's vision, you have a better chance of your vision coming true in that science. That science backing up scripture. Benefits of writing things down. Again, all science. It helps declutter the mind, causes ideas and tasks to be stored in one's long-term memory bank. You want to know why this is important? Remember what Habakkuk said? Let's go back to Habakkuk really quick. Habakkuk said, Habakkuk says, wait for it shall certainly come, it shall not delay. If it lingers. So some things that we ask for, some things that we write down is going to take a while. But the reason why you're writing them down is so that way they get stored in your long-term memory. So that way you stay focused on them. You don't forget about them. When you write it down, you don't forget about it. You stay focused on it. It helps boost one's memory. Just talked about that. Those who write things down remember 23% more than an individual who does not write down anything. It boosts productivity, causes one to focus. So the great thing about writing things down is what it does is it puts blinders on your dreams, goals, and visions. When you write it down, it gives you the power to stay focused on that thing longer. You don't forget about it. It says right here, it gets stored in your long-term memory bank, which means you're able to focus on it longer. Some of us we have great dreams. Some of us want to do great things that's going to take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. If you just have it in your mind, eventually it wears off. But if you write it down, whenever you go and it starts fading, you go back to it and you can remember it and you can continue to focus on it and do the things it takes to reach those long-term dreams. The process. Step 1, write down your dreams, goals, desires, and wishes. Very simple. Whatever it is, no matter how great, no matter how big. Remember what Yah told the house, what he said? Ask of me, no matter how great or how high it is. Ask of me. That's what you're doing. No matter how great it is. If you want to run a Fortune 500 business, if you want to start a nonprofit that feeds 10 million people, whatever it is, write it down. Write them down in detail. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? You need to be very detailed about what you're writing down, because this is how you want your dream to be. I don't know if you all realize it, but majority of the things that we've asked y'all for, he's given to us. And oftentimes we get upset and mad because we've gotten what we wanted, but it didn't look like how we thought it would look because we weren't detailed in what it was that we were asking for.
Come on, man.
That's why you have to be detailed, because you're going to get what you asked for. But if you aren't detailed in what you're asking about, it's not going to come how you thought because you didn't go and ask in detail.
Yeah. Business plan.
Exactly.
Come on.
Now, when you write it down,
Come on,
you want to go and you want to visit it and read over it 3 to 7 times a day. Whatever you wrote down, you go back and you visit it 3 to 7 times every single day. Can someone tell me what's that going to do?
Repetition.
Repetition. What else?
It gets ingrained
And
and
it
becomes a part
gets
of
you.
your
Oh,
character.
yes. And then what it does is, as we know, energy transfers to whatever it's on.
Right,
So
right.
as we continue to focus on that goal every single day, that means our energy is going to be consistently toward that. And that's what we're going to be drawn
Come
towards.
on.
So if my goal is to own a home, and every single day I'm reminding myself that I want to own a home 3 times a day, that means that all the things that come with owning a home or getting me to owning a home is going to start being drawn to me. Because that's the law of what? Attraction. So that's what's going to continue to come to me over and over and over and over and over again. And everything that needs to happen for me to obtain that goal is going to happen because I'm attracting it to me, because I'm consistently ingrained in it if I'm reading it 3 to 7 times a day. And the most important part, put yourself in the moment of your desire. And the most important part, allow yourself to feel what you would feel being in that moment. So let's just say you want to start a construction company.
Right, right.
You want to literally feel yourself out in the sun, bead of sweat dripping down your head, dirt on your arms. That's how vivid your dream has to be. That's how vivid you have to feel it. You need to feel yourself in it. So that way when it happens, you're already used to it. It's not anything that's going to be new to you. Because you've been imagining yourself in that thing every single day. So whatever it is that you want to do, if you want to become a doctor, imagine yourself doing surgery on the patient, the blood popping up on your arm. If you want to be a truck driver, imagine yourself driving on the trucking company, you bumping on the road, you going, you bucking from the clutch. Like whatever it is that you want to do, imagine the feeling. Put yourself in the feeling of that thing, because it makes it more realistic. So that way when it happens, you're already used to it.
Yeah.
Remember, it says whatever happens in the physical realm, it has to happen in the spiritual realm first. You
That's
create in
right.
the spiritual realm what's in your mind. It gets created up there, then comes down to you. That's why it's important to make sure you feel every single intricate detail of what it is that you want to do, because that's what you're creating in the spiritual realm to get to you in the physical realm.
Come on. Make it
Step 3, believe, know that it will come to be.
Yes, yes.
Write this down. Believe, 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 believe. I know belief and faith get a bad rap because of other faith systems that misinterpret belief and faith. However, the power of belief is so strong. So what were the first 2 real quick? Someone give me a recap. What was the first one? Ask for it. Second one, write it down. The third one, believe that it will come to be. Hebrews 11:6. But without belief, it is impossible to please him. Yah.
Come on.
For he who comes to Elohim has to believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who earnestly seek him. So Yah does not deal with those who are wavering in faith. Remember, he said an unstable, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, and someone who's lukewarm, he spit him out.
That's right.
We need to understand how important it is to have unwavering belief in what it is that we want. Because as soon as you have unwavering faith, what is unwavering? What is that related to?
Unwavering means you're not
Unbalanced.
tempted.
Starts with an F.
With an F.
It's 100%, not 97%.
Starts with an F. Fear. Fear. Unwavering belief is related to fear. Do y'all remember my first presentation I did, Faith Over Fear? What separates us from y'all? Fear, correct? This is why y'all can't get done what you want to get done, because if you're in fear, aka having unwavering faith, he can't help you. You don't believe. You don't think he is who he say he is. So if you don't believe who he is, who he say he is, why would he reward you if you don't think he can get it done? He's not.
Right.
So we need to understand this. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. Majority of us kill our dreams before we even get before we even get the opportunity to manifest them and allow them to happen. Because we're so worried about, oh, this bad thing might happen, that bad thing might happen. We're so focused on the negativity. How can we ask God for something and then doubt his omnipotent power? How can we say we serve the creator of all things, heaven, earth, good, bad, good, evil, all of that, and then doubt when we ask him for something? That's right. That doubt is what kills the dreams, because now you don't have that power behind you. That's right. Yahushua said you must have the faith of a mustard seed, correct? Right. Who knows the importance of that scripture, faith of a mustard seed?
A mustard seed will grow in anything.
A mustard seed will grow in anything. You can plant a mustard seed in a rock and it will still grow. That's right. So when you have a dream and you plant it in what we have this world now, which is a rock, something that seems improbable and impossible for it to grow, you still have to know it's going to grow. Because a mustard seed, even in a mountain, it will still grow. That's how strong your faith has to be. That no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the situation, no matter what the environment is, you know it's still going to grow. That's how important and that's how strong your faith has to be. Come on now. Power of belief. Belief is the first step of overcoming winning one's mind. There's an African proverb that says, if there is no enemy inside, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Woo-hoo. As long as you are doubting, lacking belief, faith, then your mind is what's defeating you. But when you have that belief, it's the first step in overcoming and winning your mind. Because once you win your mind, once you take all those negative thoughts and all those negative characteristics out, you give belief the ability to flourish. Mm-hmm. And nothing else can stop you after that. Do y'all realize we're Israel, correct? We are, a lot of us say we're Israelites, right? Yes. Which means we have the power of Yah within us, correct? Correct. Yes. So what is that? Greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. Yes. There is nothing. Come on. Nothing. Come on. Nothing. Make it plain. That can stop you. Come on. At all. At all. But yourself. But yourself. The enemy literally cannot do you any harm. Come on. What the enemy can do is plant seeds in your mind and cause you to do harm to yourself. Come on now. That's it. If you have the power of Yah in you, there is nothing that can stop you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. Come on. Simple. Belief keeps one focused on their goals. So if you have the faith of a mustard seed, which is no matter what environment your dream has been planted in, it's still going to grow. It's going to prosper. That keeps you focused on, let me make sure this happens. What you start doing is instead of accepting problems, you start looking for solutions. So if you want to start a business and you're like, oh man, I don't have the money, I don't have the extra money. Well, that's lacking belief. Now if you have belief, you go from saying, I don't have the extra money to what will it take for me to get the extra money to start my business? Yeah. That's a big difference. Big difference. Big difference. Big difference. So when you have your belief, it keeps you focused on the goal and it keeps you focused on solutions as opposed to problems. That's very, very, very important. No matter what you're doing in life, you have to stay focused on the solutions. As soon as your mind starts creeping in problems, replace them with solutions. And everything that you want to come to be will come to be. Belief solidifies your vision. Yes, sir. Belief solidifies your vision. Thoughts become actions, actions become habits, habits become your destiny. So whatever you allow to come into your mind, eventually that will become your reality. Your mind is the spiritual realm, your reality is the physical. So what gets created in the spiritual realm then comes and manifests in the physical. So if you keep your mind clear, you keep your mind plain, you stay faithful, you stay having belief, then all of those things in which you desire, all of those things that you were created to pursue and created to accomplish will come to be. Belief creates resilience. Life is more about your reactions and how you handle problems. Life is more about your reactions and how you handle problems and adversity. More so than the problems and adversities itself. We all go through stuff. Yes. Everybody in here has been through something. Everybody in here has had a trial, a tribulation. But what got you through your trial and your tribulation was your reaction to your trial and tribulation. If you have a defeatist mindset, your trial and tribulation will defeat you. If you have an overcoming mindset, you will overcome your trial and tribulation. Very simple. You can either lick it or let it lick you. One
Yes,
of the
sir.
two. Very simple. You can go to Yah for something believing that you are cursed. Yah reward you for your belief. This is why it's important for us as Israelites to get out of the cursed mindset.
Come on.
Quit
Come
going
on
to
now.
Deuteronomy 28 and only reading 15 through 16.
Say it again.
Quit
Say it
going
again,
to
brother.
Deuteronomy
Yes.
28 and only
Yes.
reading 15 through 16.
Yes. Come on
Because
now.
as long as you believe you are cursed, that is what God is going to reward you with. Simple as that. If you go every day and instead of reading 15 through 68, you read 1 through 14, what's going to start manifesting in your life? 1 through 14. It's easy, simple. It's not that difficult. It's not anything that takes rocket science. It's very, very, very simple. Simple concept. What you put in your mind comes out. What you put in the spiritual realm comes out and manifests in the physical. Very simple. So if you spiritually feel like you're cursed, you're going to be physically cursed. Simple as that. Because a lot of people like say, oh, well, we're identified by the curses. We're also identified by the blessings.
That's right.
So
Hallelujah.
if you identify yourself with the blessings, then you will still be, like nowhere in scripture did y'all ever say, well, if you blessed, then you wicked and evil. Like his blessings are your reward for keeping his commandments. Simple. If you keep his commandments and you still curse, like that's a problem. You're doing something wrong. It's your thought process. You're doing something wrong. Change your thoughts. Step 4, last step.
Work at it.
Simple.
Come on, brother.
Work at it. Very simple. Keeping it simple.
Work at it.
James 2 and 26. For as the body apart from the spirit is dead, so also faith apart from works is dead. If you have a dream, goal, vision, a passion, a purpose, and it just stays in your mind, you never do anything, you can have all the faith, hope, belief, all of that, but if you're not working toward it, it's never going to come
Make
together.
it plain.
So if you want to, going back to the business analogy, you want to start a business and you're like, I know y'all's going to give me the business. You ask y'all for the business. You write it down. You write down what it looks like, but then you leave it in your journal that you wrote it down in. It ain't going to never come to, y'all not going to just drop a business out the sky on you. Like, y'all's not a fairy godmother. You have to work and he works with what you're giving him. He will increase everything that you give him. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop.
Yes.
Oftentimes we're like, oh, it's too late for me to start. Oh, I don't have this. Don't focus on that. Just get started. Because you're like a locomotive. You're gonna go, then you're gonna pick up steam, then you're gonna turn from a locomotive to a bullet train.
Come on now.
Very simple.
Come on.
Simple concept. This is real easy. The law of action. Who here knows what the law of action is? Law of action. The law of action must be employed in order for us to manifest things on earth. We must engage in actions that support our thoughts and dreams, emotions and words. They all tie together. The law of action states that you must do the things and perform the actions necessary to achieve what you are setting out to do. Unless you take action that are in harmony with your thoughts and dreams and proceed in an orderly fashion towards what you want to accomplish, there will be absolutely no foreseeable results. So like James 2 and 26 said, faith without works is dead. So you can think up some of that. Same thing as the law of action. It's the same thing. These are coming from different schools of thought, different thought processes, different ways of life, and they all saying the same thing. So these are universal laws. Simple. These are things that govern the universe. You can't change it. Whether you go to scripture or you go sit under a tree in India. It's going to say the same thing. So you might as well go ahead and implement it and use it for your benefit. If it is here, it is here with the law of action that most people falter when pursuing success. It could be their fears or laziness that get in the way.
Say it one more time.
It could be their fears or laziness that get in the way. So the law of action is getting things done. So you ask for it, you write it down, you have belief that it's going to come to be. Now you have to act on all of that. You have to. All you got to do is just move. When you start moving, y'all start putting you in position and direction. All right, I got a couple of bonuses for y'all, real quick, and we at the end. I told you this is simple, easy. We don't have to make this thing complicated. We don't have to. Yes, it's wonderful. Know the language, know what words are saying, know all this and that. But even in our current state, we keep it simple. We don't overcomplicate it. We simplify it, and we work it, and we apply it.
Yes.
It'll work. Very simple. Law of reciprocity.
Come on now. Uh-oh.
Who in here knows what the law of reciprocity is?
What you put up here?
Say it out loud.
put out comes down.
Yes, what you put out goes in.
Also called karma.
Yes. So,
Come on, brother.
potato, pail of dirt. A dollar bill that was so generously donated for the presentation today by Sister Sarah. So,
She said she want her dollar back.
so
Right, she gonna find
for
out.
this demonstration, this is equal to this.
All right?
So, oftentimes, we do this with this. We hold on to it. It's in our hand.
Okay.
Don't go nowhere. That's equivalent to having this potato and just eating the potato. Once I eat the potato, it's done. It's gone. I can't do anything else with it, correct? I hold on to this dollar. Maybe I spend it on myself. It's done. It's gone. I can't do anything with it. Who knows about growing a potato?
Just a little bit.
All right. So, how many potatoes can you get from one spud? I'm sorry, from one eye.
How many eyes you have? Just one eye?
So if I cut out this one eye,
You can get several. Several potatoes.
so I cut out this one eye.
You can get many. You can get many potatoes.
So another eye.
You're gonna get.
So let's just say I get 7 potatoes per one eye, correct? So now I'm at 14 potatoes. Another eye. It's 21 potatoes. There's another eye. 35 potatoes.
28.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tony. Oh, woo. Hey, that's what we're here for, to help one another. Yeah, 35 potatoes. How much now? I still got this whole potato left. All I'm doing is cutting out the eyes. That's 35.
Yeah.
This 42. All right, and I still got this much left, right?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So now, when these potatoes grow, I bury them in the sand. They're buried in the sand, and they grow and they multiply. So that means that what I have, once I give, press down, shaking together, what's going to happen? It's going to run over, right? So when you give, you literally give yourself the opportunity to run over. Now, I want y'all to, this is so beautiful. We started asking for donations so that way we could get new music equipment, correct?
Correct.
So you sowed a seed. Sowed a seed. Now you could have held on to your money. Cool. But you decided to cut up your potato and put it in here. So now what happened? You became blessed. Your seed that you sowed blessed you. Y'all don't realize, last week when we first got that new music equipment, do y'all know how lively we were? Do you know how much better praise and worship was, which fed you spiritually, which then gave you the power to go and overcome everything that you went through this week coming up? So you blessed yourself by sowing that seed. So now we have a praise and worship. We have better equipment. We don't have to worry about the mics going in and out, the mics being distorted, the message getting lost because the mic is going in and out. We got keyboards. We got multiple mics. So I ain't got to, sister, pass the mic way back there. Like Minister Carnes got a mic on a lapel mic, which is beautiful. I love this. Now the presenter don't have to hold the mic, which gets in the way. That's a blessing. All because we sold that one seed.
Come on now.
Simple. That's the law of reciprocity. What you put out will come back to you.
Yeah.
So, because you put that seed out, it came back in the blessing of having a better, higher quality of a Shabbat service. Which gives you more strength and more power to defeat everything that comes your way throughout your week. That's why that's important.
Hallelujah.
Follow the omens. Follow the omens. Man, remember I said earlier, life is not about what happens to you, but how you react to it?
React to it.
Okay. So, God gives us signs on everything when we're going through things and how to get through the things. Oftentimes, we look at adversity as something negative, as something that's bad,
That's right.
but really it's something that's there to help us out. So I'm going to give y'all an
Okay.
example.
All right.
What was that, Thursday, Friday? I had to take Ramirez to go get his cast on his hand? All right, Thursday, Friday, I had to go take my stepson to go get a cast on his hand. So I was at physical therapy, running a little bit late. I had to leave, had to hurry up, drive across town to go get him, and drive across town to go to the doctor. So it's traffic. I got a semi truck in front of me, a school bus in front of me, cars in front of me. They stopping. People in the middle of the road don't know how to drive. Now I'm like, yo, I still got to go get him, drive back across town. All these things happen. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. So I'm trying to get through traffic, moving real slow, and then all of a sudden, an ambulance comes. I'm like, before I'm like, y'all, man, I got to get through this traffic. Then the ambulance comes. Now who here gets frustrated when the ambulance comes? Why? Because now you got to pull over to the side of the road, get out the way, stop your progression. Now, had I looked at like, oh, dang, man, this ambulance that came, guess what the ambulance did?
Cleared your path.
Cleared the path. He took off. Car still on the side of the road. Guess what I did? Got right behind him.
Yeah.
Got right behind him. So now, all my paths are clear for me to get to the house and get what I need to get to. Now, had I looked at that situation as had I been stuck in my feeling like, dang, this ambulance here.
That's right.
Oh, man, I can't catch a break instead of paying attention to the homie that y'all sitting
That's
with.
right.
I would have been stuck.
That's right.
I would have been stuck behind those cars and would have been late getting to where I need to get to. That's why it's very important to make sure that whatever you're paying attention to, you always look. What's that scripture where it says all things work for the greater good of those who believe? Every single thing. Yes, everything works together for the greater good of those who are called. So you have to be to his purpose. So you have to be called and you have to be chosen. So everything that happens to you as a chosen individual is for your betterment. Don't look at adversity as something negative. Look at it as something that's for you, because the adversity that's happened to you most times it saves you from something else that's more catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Summary. Step 1, ask for it. Step 2, write it down. Step 3, believe it will come true. Step 4, work at it. Be fruitful, multiply, have dominion over the earth. Very important. And I'm finished. Oh, yeah. Very important. He who controls your mind controls your destiny. When you master your faith, you are in control of your own destiny. Don't give anyone else that power.
Yes.
Hallelujah.